All right. What is this? Millennial money. Of course it is. So, how will the next generation survive in the financial world? Question mark. Wow. All right, here we go. I mean, it's good stuff.
Hello, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and we're here for another exciting and important and financial education, money for millennials or millennials and their money.
Haha. What is this? This is probably like a boy. He's still a boy, according to the four types of men, which is nonsense. But look, lives it perfectly, thinking of himself as youthful forever. And of course, that's what he invests in. The technology that will just blast and smash him into a robot. Yes. And because he believes he can transfer whatever he thinks consciousness is.
Because as you and I know, our school teaches us this about money.
Yeah.
And it really kind of screws people up because they go out of school and they start doing the thing we talked about, go to school and get a job. Right?
Wait.
School teaches us
He,
this,
wow.
millennials and their
What
money.
was that?
Because as you and I know, our school teaches us this,
Wow. He said, what was that?
millennials and their money. Because as you and I know, our school teaches us this.
He teaches us this. He couldn't wait, guys. He could not wait. He could not wait. He could not wait. And what is this? Wow, the red bracelet. He is a mass sorcerer. He is, wow, that is so amazing. It's so incredible.
This about money.
Yeah.
And it really kind of screws people up because they go out of school and they start doing the thing we talked about, go to school and get a job, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first two lessons.
Exactly. And that's why they screw you up because that's what they teach you to go and get a job. And you know what? I don't care what you're gonna say, nonsense. But ultimately, I'm pretty sure it's going to depend on people with jobs. Yes.
So we have Alexandra here. She is a daughter of our dear friends, Fernando and Cecilia Gonzalez. And Alexandra was born the same year that Rich Dad was born.
Yeah.
And again, for
Yeah,
those who may
yeah.
not know, my rich dad was my best friend's father. My poor dad was an academic, straight A student. I wasn't. I was a D.
Wow. My poor dad. Exactly. He was an academic. And so what do you think about academics now? Do you laugh in their face? No, you don't, because you need academics to pull over the wool of the scheme that you're talking about.
F, and C student on a good day. But my rich dad never finished school. So he had a completely different point of view. It's not right or wrong, but rich dad was an entrepreneur, and poor dad was a school teacher, head of education, PhD, Stanford, University of Chicago North, all the credentials for academics. So at the age of 9 in Hilo, Hawaii, my rich dad started teaching me because I asked the question of my teacher, my fourth grade teacher, said, "What did we learn about money?" I said,
Wow.
"Well, we don't teach you about money." And I thought that was really stupid. Why go to school, get a job, but know nothing about money?
Exactly. Look, you're talking what was done to you. And you probably cared at some point, but now you don't give a damn. And this is the look, this is the face of not giving a damn.
So with that, this was his lesson number one.
Whoa, what is that? Okay, what was that for a
Go to school,
second?
get a job, but know nothing about money.
Right, because why would you want to go to the place that you're supposed to go to and learn about life? No, because they don't do that. But you make it seem as though life is money. No, they actually go to school to actually blast you into believing money is what you need. Okay, so it's not about teaching you about money. No, they're traumatizing you into being now just totally ready to accept money as your worshipful master. And this is so beautifully depicted by look at this man child. And what is this? It's not a man child. It's not. It's just glasses on something. But I don't know what this is.
So with that, this was his lesson number one.
And and what is this? Okay, what is this? Okay, something doesn't match up here because he doesn't look so bad up front, but look, this looks like leather. That looks like beef jerky. What is that? Okay, and I doubt he got mauled by a dog and he had to get his ear reconstructed, but I don't know. Look, What is that? Why is there a green screen behind him? What is happening? What is this guy? I mean, what are you pushing?
And the rich don't work for money. So when I show you that, what goes through your head?
Because I already know your philosophy, it makes a lot of sense to me.
But for somebody watching this for the first time, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
She just said, I know you're brainwashed. I'm brainwashed, so I get it. So, but I don't know how to explain it because I blah 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 blah. Okay, so what are you gonna say?
Makes sense.
Because you go to school to get a job so you can work for money, right?
That's the purpose of life, yeah.
Right.
Look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. Okay, remember that smirk next time you're looking for a job. Okay, because these people are laughing. They're laughing and having a bash, celebrating and just bumping and bumping and grinding and grinding and grinding and taking more and just displacing, just eliminating, just deleting. Control Alt Delete every day forever. Okay, it's just amazing. The constant reset for the eternal reset of bliss. They're waiting for the reset of bliss. Look, that's awaiting. You know, he mocks people that say that they're the who cares? But he believes in something that is just pathetic. It's hilarious. It's just it's hilarious in its own hypocrisy because he doesn't see it.
Right. To be a slave for money.
Exactly.
And work for idiots like me.
To be a oh, see, he's just said it and he just laughed. It's such a fake smile. Wow.
Exactly.
But anyway, so my way of teaching is to first put doubt in your brain.
And I love how he said, and then work for an idiot like me. He just reversed it because the real idiots are the people working for him, and he laughed. That's why he laughed. He laughed. Let's listen to it again. Okay. Wow, priceless.
Right. To be a slave for money.
Exactly.
And
Slave
work
for
for
money.
idiots like me.
And work for idiots like me.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, that is the face. Despite the glasses, but maybe the glasses are key for the face of this. But look, that's a gotcha face, okay? And it knows you. It's a gotcha face, and they're laughing and mocking. But you think they're laughing because wow, he really is an idiot. Look at him. He's just being foolish, and he's so affable. No, he's a leather-eared man. I don't know what he is. He's just some guru that just is super rich. He's super rich because he exploited what was around and just manipulated and brainwashed and smashed and dashed and smashed and dined and trashed and everything in between. And then it's just perfect.
But
Just
anyway,
because that's what life is. Life is perfect, and of course it shows that. I mean, this video is just another example of the signs and times, and that's why this is what this is just hilarious, and it's hilarious because not only is it calling out what it is, but it's just smashing as well. It's just that's truth. The truth is slicing and just cutting deeper than any human sword could ever cut. Okay, and with such precision, and it's accurate every time. It's never off. Okay, the truth is that. Okay, but no, you're off all the time, and so is this other person.
so
And that's why they have to manipulate people into buying into things like this because the ship could go just awry and just smash everything around them, and they need to guide it. They need to guide it, make sure it's going into the abyss. They need to make sure it's on course still to the abyss. Yes.
my way of teaching is to first put doubt in your brain. To
Exactly.
challenge your belief systems.
Wow.
And then maybe you can choose new beliefs or keep up with old beliefs.
So he just scrambles your brain and hopes that you come out of it. And if you die, then he's out the other side of the pool wishing you and welcome you into the club. Wow. He just described a ritual probably. And wow, he's going to make you kiss the ring at any given moment. Okay. And that's why the person sitting across from him is just intimidated. Okay.
Right.
If she comes
So
up,
when you
we'll
think
see.
about working for money, what comes through your head?
I think about the
Okay, right there. Just a totally white ghost, intimidated, just mashed. Okay? And why? you have this leopard guy, like leather ear guy in front of you. It couldn't possibly be that. No, and on top of that is what he's saying, but it's nothing because you already know it. You said it. You said you already know it. You've been under his challenge that he's describing of mashing your brain and see if you come to the pool the other side, and he'll be there to glorify you. Yes.
The time that I worked at the bank and I was working paycheck to paycheck, and I wasn't exposed to the financial education that you provide me with. And so it was kind of sad that I couldn't afford the things that I wanted to do. And
Oh, it was sad? No, it was just the reality smashing you right in the face, saying, wow, look, this is what you have to do to actually buy into what you see on TV and what you think you see around you and your neighbors. No, everybody's just smashed and trying to just fill the void, okay? Fill the eternal void since the moment that there was division and separation and the belief in it. Okay, in the belief that you could divide and have the division be up to you to decide. No, okay, it life is what it is. Okay, and it is with you at all always. Okay, always. And what do? You defile it. You just smash it and just toss it around and just devour. It devours what's in here, and ultimately it beats the living life out of you. Yes.
and I was just in this cycle of paying my bills and going to work, and
Correct.
that's it.
Do you have friends who haven't found the good job even though they went to school?
So I have many friends that have graduated and they're told that they're going to go to school
Money
and
friends.
they're going to find a job, and
Money.
they find themselves without anything. So many of them have found a job, and many of them have also not found a job.
Yeah, the irony of it, when I left school in the 60s, there was plenty of jobs. But the world has changed, and our schools haven't. And so they're still making this innate promise of get a job.
So will you talk about how the world was changed? No, you won't. You will just say how the schools have to now change somehow. According to what, I don't know, what doctrine, okay? What system? No, there is no system. You will just, you need to just stare into the abyss through your glasses, and then the abyss will tell you what system it is, okay? And that's how you get your information, yes.
And I was very fortunate when I graduated in '69. We're the highest paid graduates in the world. My classmates were making about $120,000 to $150,000 a year. That's not much money today, but 1969, that was a lot.
Okay, $20,000 to $50,000 today. Okay, that's. I mean, you can be living like a king if you know. I mean, and this is in the Western world, and anybody who doesn't is just foolish. And but not to just say that you can live and comfortable, and so therefore you should just shut up. No, it's just a lie. It's just they're told that you should have more, and therefore you can be live the rich life. Okay, in order to live the rich life, guess what? You actually have to be rich. Otherwise, you're just in debt, in debt, in debt. And of course, the masses are not the rich. And of course, that's why they're in debt, in debt, in debt, in debt, in debt. It doesn't work. Okay, so it's a whole. It's a fraud. Okay, it's people don't see it, and it doesn't matter what system it is, because when you trade in that sense, in that mentality, because it's a trade. You traded your discernment for a polluted, smashing of thinking, or you traded it for being smashed, okay? And that's what happens, okay? That's what happens to you when you give up and just give into this doctrine. You get smashed.
A lot of money.
And no matter if you had enough money, it's never going to be enough for you, because you always want more, and you always want the better life and the nicer things, and the nicer things. And oh, poor you. You never had these things, and you want to give your children more. Well, yes, you want to give children more by selling them into slavery. Yes, that's how much you love them. Amazing. Amazing. So amazing.
But naturally, as young guys do, we spent every penny of it.
Yeah.
So I had my rich dad's lesson, the rich don't work for money, in my head. I said, okay, I'm making all this money. I have a secure job, but what's beyond that? And that's where education comes in. So if I could explain this
Exactly. Education of splitting your mind. Okay. And what are you talking about, dads and my rich dad and my poor dad? Do you have two dads? That's amazing. And what about your mothers? You never talk about them, right? Do you have two mothers too? No, they never are talked about. Are they? I don't care. But this video is certainly not so far, and it's only 3 minutes in. Amazing. There's just so much to observe. It's just endless. But it's because it defaces. It peels away at the lies that you present. Yes.
for the rest of the millennial lessons is really going to be on this theme here. because financial education is about not working for money. Like one of the first questions when I finally realized what my rich dad was saying, I said, well, when do I never need a paycheck again? See, my goal wasn't, go to the moon or, cure cancer. My job was,
Exactly. You laugh because it's a fraud, and you don't laugh because wow, it's not something to be, it's a honorable, journey. No, why do you laugh? It's because it's because it's a fraud. You know that space and whatever else. Come on, it's a fraud. It's a fraud, and you know it, and that's why you laughed.
when would I never need a paycheck again? Because as long as you need a paycheck, be it from an employer or like my poor dad, he was so afraid of losing his government pension.
Maybe he talks about his poor and rich dad because he was just in order to gain all this savvy wealth or whatever he calls it, he had to do something. Maybe he was split and he was given the false memory that he had two dads, but that really is just the duality that just split him in half, but only in the demonic sense because he doesn't know truth. Truth is he has totally just slashed. He just slashed and dashed and slashed and dashed until he was obliterated, until he just didn't know what was going on. And then that's when it took over. What took over? Exactly. He doesn't know, or he won't say. But of course, that's what took over, and it took over. And he's what is he doing? It's a takeover. Exactly. It's a takeover. It's not what he's doing. It's what he represents and everything behind it. And nothing through his awesome glasses will deceive. Of course, they will deceive the masses, and it will just because of the glasses. Look how powerful it makes him. Look.
I'm going, Jesus, what a way to run your life. Your pension? So my old man kind of got fired. He lost his pension. It was the most frightening thing in the world to him. He had no pension. Then it was Social Security, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about truths, right? So investing all this faith in this fraudulent, Patsy scheme of just defiling you, giving you a sense of promise of retirement funds. No, guess it's not enough, guys. No, guess what? Now you have to have alphabet. You have to have alphabet accounts, guys. Alphabet accounts. Just diversify, split, fracture, and just smash and dash, and just invest in a just ethereal world in the clouds. You're in the cloud, guys. You're in the cloud, so you better just trade as much as you can because you're flying so high. Okay, so just trade as much as you can because you're so high and you're so in the cloud. You're untouchable. Okay, you're so untouchable that you're just filthy rich and you get to exploit the world. Wow, you get to exploit the world and buy and donate as well because you have to. You're kind of obligated to, and it's okay. You can donate, and it's fine because you're feeding what back into yourself, right? Just as the bottom half feeds itself with their taxes, it's just like eating themselves, and eating themselves they do, and so do you, and you feed, but you feed your food is something else, isn't it? But you're not going to talk about what that is. No, you won't.
So that's why my goal when I was about your age, a little older, around 25, I said, my goal is to never need a paycheck again from anybody, even the government. I don't want any Medicare.
Okay, and the reason why you're popular, I don't care if you are, but at least this video has some views, and who cares? But look, the way you present yourself, and I'm sure you have other, cronies and your pyramid or whatever. Who cares? But listen, the reason why it works is because you're pulling at people's heartstrings and or just actually pointing out truths that they have smashed themselves to not see, which is. Exactly, Nazi, not see, but also Nazi. You're just a Nazi, okay? And what is a Nazi? Just obliterated mind, just smashed. And why? Because you have no clue and you just do what you're told. And who cares? Because you're getting something out of it. You get a position and you get some sort of reward. Yes, it's amazing, and you thrive. And who cares? You thrive. But you think you thrive. But the people might find you, somewhat insightful because you're talking about, wow, yeah, I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to just make another person rich, and I can do it myself. Exactly. So you're pulling at the me strings, the me, and also at the fact that yes, it's not worth going and actually down that rabbit hole, that wormhole, that defiling road that would just defile you and just sodomize you left and right, toss you, slam you across the room, and just pounce on you. Okay, it's the slither knife. Okay, you'll get slithered in places that you wish you never knew. Okay, but you do know, actually, you do know, and that's the shame. That's the look right there of that shame of knowing what that feels like.
Social Security or whatever, well, I was a military pilot. So, oh, you got to get the military pilot pension. I said, you do, but I'm not going to. And just because of this here.
The rich don't work for
because I
slavery.
never wanted
Wow.
to work for money, to need a paycheck. So the next few lessons in Millennial Money, you'll find out what I do work for. So for right now, just let me go to...
what do you do work for, but... What you work for, but who do you work for? Exactly. Who is your allegiance to? That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if you do yoga or if you go to church. It doesn't matter. Who is your allegiance to, right? What influence is your life, right? Because if it's the life that you get from worshiping death, then you are smashed completely.
The lesson here. So this comes from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and these are some of the distinctions.
Rich dad, poor dad. Okay,
It
he
was
talks a bit
advantage-
he might as well have his teddy bear out here and tell you this is rich teddy bear and poor ass teddy bear over here, because he's using puppets and just fantasy and just smashing you with it. Okay, and of course, look, there's a nice square with a line and another one with another one. What is this, guys? It's a window. No, it's the beginning to be smashed. It's like it's a motorcycle about to get its driver's head chopped off because he doesn't see the wire stripped tight across. Okay, exactly. It's a trap. So watch out. Let's see what he says.
Which I had at age 9, because I knew what I wanted to work for. And this here, in simple terms, is called a financial statement. In school, they teach you to get a FICO score. FICO is BS.
FICO.
All it means, how good are you paying your bills? That's all FICO means, okay? Should be the FIDO score. Good dog. So this is what your banker wants to see.
Right, so he's got swag. He's like, yeah, I don't play by the rules. I make my own rules. Yeah, no, you don't. You just present a way of kind of bad boy attitude that you just smash and dash. But no, you have to oblige. You have to actually not repent to the life, but kneel down and just get sodomized by this belief, by the ink. Exactly, the ink bond that you have to do in blood, and that's why you're writing in red, because it's devastating. It drains your life force. Absolutely.
So when I was 9 years old, playing Monopoly with my rich dad, this is the lesson that's not included in Monopoly, but rich dad taught me. And fundamentally, the problem that most people make, they go to school to get a job, and they work here. So this is the poor, middle class, and these guys.
I like how he says it. So this is the poor, the middle class, like this, whatever. He just smashes it. He just dismisses it like nothing. It's amazing.
And we're going to talk about later, your first line item expense is taxes. Just recently, President Trump said he had a tax cut. He didn't have a tax cut for these guys. As you know, the rules are always written for the rich. Okay.
As you know,
I didn't make
guys.
the rules. You can get angry at me, but these are the rules.
These are the rules.
The rich make the rules.
The rich make the
golden
rules.
rule. He who has a gold makes the rules.
It's so funny. It's so funny, guys. Look, it's so funny. So I must be rich because look, I'm giving you a rule. So it's just mocking. It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So the tax cut went to people here. That's where it goes to. You'll learn more about this later on. But this is what I work for. So what I work for, number one, is I'm an entrepreneur. I want businesses. I have multiple businesses.
Yeah, you're a bus that is going to go off a cliff into the abyss of liability. And that's what you are. You're a liability. You know why? Because you're constantly defiling the Holy Spirit, and that's the asset, right? But you confuse it in a sense that, wow, I have so many things. That's the desolate tragedy, okay? That is the ultimate play that you are day in, day out playing out on the theatrics of life, and you love it because you seem to have a command of a ship that you think is going somewhere when it's just going straight into the abyss. Actually, it's going along and the paving the way to space, okay? You are paving the way to space. It's amazing.
And I don't work in them, as you know, because you work here. You never see me, do you?
No.
Because I don't work for a paycheck.
Exactly.
Next is real estate. And real estate is good for many things which we'll go into, but number one is debt. I use a lot of debt to buy real estate, and I pay no taxes. That's the relationship there. The next is paper. And that's savings, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and that stuff. I don't have any of that stuff.
You
I
have
don't save
nothing.
money. I don't have any of that. But this is what most people have: go to school, get a job, get a 401k, and save money. Loser.
Loser, because you just did a bunch of letters and nothing and numbers, and then you're just smashed because somehow you have less money. Well, you can call it whatever you want. You can have a billion names and things for it and jokes about it, but the bottom line is this, because you believe in bottom lines, right? And it's the Brax tax and all this nonsense, but who cares? But listen, it's you're going to make money, and of course you're going to spend it, and who cares if you filed for whatever form, and who cares if you made something an asset and therefore have tax cuts, whatever. You're the loser, okay? You are the loser because in the sense of, wow, just mashed, okay? This just completely obliterated, okay? Obliterated into a mindset of liability, okay? It's almost like your flesh is crying out to you. But no, you are mind over matter, right? You own your flesh, right? Wow, you're your own master. Amazing. The master of nothing, because the flesh is to be overcome, okay? The flesh is not. What are you talking about, okay? And what are you pushing?
Okay? I'm doing that just to upset you guys, because maybe you'll start to think. Because I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you these are the rules. These people pay the highest taxes, and they work the hardest. And the last are commodities.
Nice bracelet.
4 different asset classes.
Yes, amazing.
So commodities are, number one is gold, silver, oil, land, water, food. So
I
this
think it's water, and you know it. You're just deceiving people.
is what I work for. When I left school, rather than working for a paycheck.
And people, actually, water and people are the biggest commodity, and they're just traded and slashed and tossed around like slabs of meat, like nothing. Okay, and this guy won't tell you that, but it's the truth. Just look into the Vatican and the fact that they own your souls into eternity in this bondage of the laws. Right? It's all based on this fictitious dead corpse. Okay, and it's amazing. And this guy loves it because he can just feed off of it and feed off the decay, and it's amazing. And he just can't get enough of it, right? Because it makes him just not have to work a day of his life, because it just festers. It just festers, and he feeds off it. He feeds on the festering, and that's how he cannot work a day of his life, because any honest man knows that he has to work the spiritual battle every day. And not only that, but work in the sense of, yes, providing a life for himself, in the sense that he can have a wife and have a child or whatever, just live. Okay, he doesn't have to have a wife. Who cares? He can be a man. Okay, he can be a man and live in the world, right? In alignment with truth, right? And doing what is right. Okay, and just not paying attention to foolery like this. What is this? Okay, because any man that is deceived into this is ultimately unhappy, in the sense that he is smashed. He just doesn't know just right from wrong. Exactly. And that's only what the result of just splitting your half. Okay, just splitting everything. Okay, you're just sliced and smashed. It's just so
working for
simple.
money, my education had to go beyond getting a job, which I had a good job,
Really?
But I now had to start when I left school, about
What's a
your
good
age.
job? I don't know.
The thing I focused on first actually was commodities. So back in 1972, I started buying gold. And it was illegal for Americans to own gold. Can you imagine that? Back in 72.
Back up to
Today
yo.
you have Bitcoin.
Unreal.
It's different. Okay.
Today you have
Everything is
Bitcoin.
changing so rapidly.
Oh
today.
wow! See how you just slipped that in there? Bitcoin is the new gold, guys. Wow! People watching this just lost their mind and are investing more and more into Bitcoin. Wow! This guy is a wizard. He is a sorcerer. He's a splintered mind, silver tongue, wordsmith. Okay, he's like he doesn't even care about this. He's done this chart so many times. Like he's actually like he's probably really angry, but he masks that as like laughing occasionally with his leather face ear. Okay, it's just unreal. And who cares? I don't even know who this person is. It could be anybody, and this person is just smashed.
Today. So I started with gold, but actually the next thing was actually oil, because I went to school to be a tanker officer, driving ships for Standard Oil. So I understand oil. So my wife and I don't own Standard Oil or Chevron or Exxon. We own oil wells. Again, taxes. You get no tax breaks for
Taxes,
owning
children. Okay, I feel like I'm on Sesame Street, guys. Like this is a lesson, a mass exploitment of lessonry here. Okay, you have no idea this guy how smart he is. He's so intellectual. I can't believe he is so smart. Okay, this is unreal.
For oil. Huge tax breaks for owning real oil. Yeah. And then I went into real estate. Why? Because I can use debt to buy real estate. And because I use debt, I pay no taxes. And then third, I started my business, my first real business. I had many businesses as a kid, but my first real business was a nylon and Velcro surfer wallet business. And I went worldwide right away. The trouble is I was an idiot, and the business went up, and the business came down. What kept me alive was this and this. Okay.
Wow.
So you may say,
It
why
kept
aren't
you
you working
alive.
for money?
Look, this guys, okay, he drew this and put it up on a wall, and it's what's kept him alive. Wow, amazing. And he actually did it. He did it. He's the living fleshly proof. He did it. Okay, and it just works, guys. It works so well, and you're rewarded infinitely with an empty promise of more and more and more. And you know what? It doesn't matter if it's more, because you smash and dash and you spend it all, and who cares? Because it doesn't
We'll go into
matter.
that next.
You can get some more later.
I don't want what's called a paycheck.
Wow.
I want cash flow. I want cash flow. This came down. What kept
Okay. Now, all right. What is this? Okay, and of course,
me
look,
alive was this and this.
what kept him alive? Of course,
Okay.
look,
So you may say, why aren't you working for money?
he put this up on a wall and just smashed and dashed, and that's what kept it alive, guys. Yes, he did this, and he actually did it. He did it. He's living in the flesh. Okay, he's proving it, guys. He did it by himself, and he did it, right? Because of course, it'll give you rewards if you just worship it and actually implement it. That's because you actually do have to do it. It's almost like you do have to do the crime to reward it. Okay, that's exactly the way it works, and you know it, and that's the truth, and you deny it.
But we'll go into that next. I don't want what's called a paycheck.
Exactly, you don't want
I
a
want
paycheck.
cash flow.
Yes, you want the blood to endlessly drip into your whatever, into your open flesh to replenish the blood that in life that's being sucked out of you. Yes, that's what you need. So you want a constant flow. Instead, who cares if you get a paycheck? I mean, who cares how much people get money? It's just people get money because they have to, right? And this is the beauty of this wordsmithery, and you're trying to make it seem like, wow, it's so clever. It's not. Okay, you're just creating just how to be enslaved more, how to just bash your brain even more. Okay.
So that's what I mean by the rich don't work for money. You want cash flow that pays very little taxes and I can use lots of debt over here. The average person who went to school, their biggest liability they have is student loans, of course.
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Of course, student loans. Yes.
I mean, it's horrible.
He laughs. But then he immediately says, it's horrible. Wow. You know what? Because he laughs because it is kind of it is hilarious because just think of the masses that go to school obviously, but then supposed higher education. What does that even mean? It just means you get smashed and tossed around and passed around and just taught the ways of the world even more, and defiled even more, just smashed and rolled over and just bent and just crossed and just contorted. Okay, you get you get contorted into a horror movie, okay, and you don't even know it.
Well, what they do to you guys today. You have student loan, which is the worst type of debt of all because you cannot declare bankruptcy on it. And then you get out and you try and buy a house and you call it an asset when it's really a liability.
Wow.
Why? Because the cash is flowing that way. Your house costs you money. You rent a house, it still costs you money.
Costs you money,
Okay.
of course.
Then you have to have
Wow,
a nice car.
Who would have thought that in a world that you worship money, that it would cost something, because it has to go and it has to defile you. It has to erode you like the waters do at a beach. Okay, it must. If that's your worshipful master, it must erode you because you want it all the time, and you must. And it's the friction. It's the constant friction, just taking it down. The windpipe and the esophagus can't take it anymore. Okay, and it can't. It's just so much friction, so much friction that it has turned into sand, and now you're coughing it up and you're calling it fairy dust, but it's not. It's just spewing sadness and darkness. Okay, it is.
I had one of those. This. So the problem with most young people is they go to school to get that job, then a lot of them have student loan debt, then they try and get married and buy a house, they have a car.
Try and get married.
And then they have credit card debt. But they never have the chance to come over here. If they do any investing in America, it's a 401k.
So yeah, he's totally exposing the rig, how it's rigged, right? And it's, wow, nobody cares. What you care is, wow, how do I get over here? Or please to give me the tools to just get that flow of nothing, just the blood of the children that we are sacrificing every day for an apparent illusion of a prosperous future. You're deluded. You're so deluded that it's amazing. It's so amazing. It's amazing and so amazing. Twice that. Okay, it's twice amazing.
Which I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. You should, but I don't, because I don't have to.
You should, but
I
I
went to
don't
school
have
for
to.
here.
Wow.
And people who don't go to school should be here.
Wow.
This is a 401k, IRA, ETFs, and that stuff. Paper, savings. I don't touch that stuff, and we'll go into that later on. Okay.
Please get to
So
it.
when I say rich don't work for money, I never wanted to be dependent on a paycheck, either from an employer or the government. I wanted to be a free human being.
A free
Any comments,
human
any
being.
questions on that?
Wow, he wanted to be a free human being. Yet somehow now you're just, this is the bot that runs your mashed brain. Okay. What happened? Because what is the definition of free? Because I think now you just define freedom as buying, the location, just buying the location. That's what freedom means to you, because that's all it ever meant to you, perhaps, right? Just being able to just buy the props around you and just create the illusion that you have to just smash in your mind, okay? Because wow, okay, how is that even coherent? I mean, that's just totally smashed.
Well, now I see it clearly, because it's ironic how people were upset about Trump not paying taxes, but in reality, he would have to be a complete idiot if he paid taxes.
Wow. This person said, I mean, she's pretty good at holding her composure, but she's right. Anybody who pays taxes would be an idiot, right? Of course. But no, you all even take pride in doing it because what? Oh, you believe that what pays for hospitals and pays for people who are sick. Wow, that's amazing. You're just mashed and double crossed and totally just, you have so many double agents triple crossing you and just, oh, it's just a free for all mash bloodbath in here, okay? Wow. But yeah, she still did say something, but I'm sure she's going to kind of try and backpedal her way out of saying that.
Especially when you were talking about your assets and how the government.
Oh, you're right. Right, because she said you're an idiot for paying taxes, but then she says, "Oh, if you have all these assets that you could be, claiming on your taxes, and then therefore not have to pay as much." Wow. No, therefore she thinks she's a wizard, but no, she is not. She is a false follower of Harry Potter magic. That's just leading her on her broom to be smashed.
Government wants you to have these things. They want you to own homes and invest in properties. And so that's exactly what Trump was doing, and so he gets all the tax benefits from it.
Correct.
So many people come to this country because
Totally
they want to live
bad
an
at it.
American dream of buying their house, going to a job, working paycheck to paycheck, going to school, when in reality that's a nightmare.
And then what happens if they lose their job?
They lose all security they were promised, and they lose everything, and they don't have anything to provide for their family either.
So what is your brain? I mean, you're a very smart young lady.
So he's belittling her just by saying that. Look, that's amazing. It's great, but it's fine.
But now your brain is a think, right?
Yeah.
Now your brain is thick. Or did he say a think? Now your brain is a think. Or now your brain is thick. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. You look like a character from the Tintin cartoons. I don't know. But it's just, why is it that these glasses are so powerful on you? It's just mind-blowing.
So the question is, when I talk to people about financial education, well, right now, we're going to talk about, there's another issue, is Bitcoin, the dollar, and gold. Which one is better? I love real estate.
Well, that was a false question because he told you earlier that Bitcoin was the new gold. But no, he's going to push that later. It's just a lie. It's a big mash. Okay?
And because it's debt, I use debt to buy real estate. And everybody else is saying get out of debt. Right? I love debt.
Yeah.
Trump loves debt. He's a king of debt. I'm in debt about $600 million. The average person cannot pay for.
Right, because they realize that it doesn't matter, guys. Get in as much debt as possible. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's just fake. It's just fake. It's nothing. And nobody's going to come after you, especially if you have ways to pay and, loopholes and just thresholds and wormholes. And as far as you're willing to just, do whatever it takes. And this guy knows what that means, but he won't talk about it. And of course, it's just amazing. Okay?
For their credit card debt. That's how tragic it is. And he's educated. I'm talking about educated people.
Yeah.
Right. And then this here, I get tax breaks because I have employees.
It's like, world debt. Okay, world debt should be enough for people just to be smashed out of that smashed state. Okay, you know why? Because world debt will never be repaid. It's amazing, and people are just deceived. Okay, nobody even cares. It's just part of the algorithm. It doesn't even mean anything. It's just a number, and because now the assets are just the currency. It's just obliterated, obviously. It's just out in the open now. Because before they were trying to be clever about it and deceive you into thinking that it was something else. But no, you're the ultimate currency and they're exploiting you and just into just oblivion, into just destruction. And it's just hilarious to see how just people love it. People love it and won't even listen. And they won't even listen even though they yell out to listen. And it's amazing. It's so amazing.
This will be another subject going down with Millennial Money. But if you have a job, you're taxed. If you hire employees, they give you tax breaks. Look at right now, Amazon is looking for a new home. Every government wants to give them a home. Yeah. Please move to Indiana, please move to Canada. Why? Because they'll bring in employees, and employees pay the tax.
Wow, exactly. He just blew it off. Look, he just blew his nuts and just is spooged everywhere because this gets him off. Because he gets off on how many people he controls. And he just said it. He just spilled a little bit of it. He said, because he will bring the people, and the people there are the assets. Okay, they're the ones that are being just squeezed and just totally just tormented and smashed and dashed and just cut up open and eviscerated and put out in the open. Okay, and what is this? Okay, it's just it's carnage, and this guy just propels carnage, and he tells you to go onto the front line and just smash. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same as Tesla. They got, I think, 50 billion or something from the state of Nevada because they bring in employees. So that's why when your teacher says you go to school, get a job, you say, I think I'll think a little bit differently this time. Now, you need a job in interim, but you want a job for the experience. That's the difference. So
Here's a pretty crazy idea. If it was if your unemployment rate was a sign of how well you're doing as a country, no, nobody looks at that. But it sort of is, because think of it, the more people that are working is the more masses that are just totally smashing and dashing and just blasted, just not even with a clue, right? Because the few that are like, what is this all about? No, they just get tossed aside and just kicked and just have the living life beat out of them, no matter if they like it or not. They get passed around from center to center, or just get labeled just whatever. It doesn't even matter, because it just it's all smashed. It's all smashed. And it truly is. But certain people you can see and overcome. Okay, and those certain people are the ones that just humble themselves and admit that they have been wrong, and they can't bear their torment of being wrong any longer. Okay, and they turn to God. Okay, they turn to God. You know why? Because they recognize that the life that they have, they did nothing for. They did absolutely zero zilch nothing for. They have it. They have exploited and manipulated to just reconfigure their living room. That's all it is. That's all they have ever done, and they have exploited to mass extents and done just the most unthinkable things that you can possibly think, just to smash and dash. Okay, and it's just unbelievable how people just give away their children to this massive just chain of events. Okay, the chain, the carnage of events, the carnage. It truly is a carnage through here. First, you start off right, and then it turns into this. Right? And it's amazing. And how can you get there? But no, you don't get there. You never get there.
The reason Rich Dad's lesson number one is rich don't work for money is I never want a paycheck. I want to use debt. And I don't want to pay tax. I want minimum. I pay some.
That's why it's hilarious. That's why they do talks like this, because they know it's not going to even matter, because all these people are just smashing and bashing and just stupering everywhere and just and all kinds, because there's different degrees within the game of the Masons, and it's just amazing and it's hilarious, and it's just the people that wrote on stone. Okay, it's just the people that are writing the laws of what life is. Okay, and that's what is the smashing and bashing, and it's all over the place, and you love it because it gives you a sense of control of this desolate, just lobotomized shell of a reality. Okay, because nobody is actually even has a clue or what they're doing or where they are. It's just like, why do you think all the seniors have dementia? Okay, what's going on there? They're just a symptom of what the decomposition that is. It's just the defilement has gotten to this severity. Okay, of course, that's. There's no linkage. There's no statistical, other stat that you can throw and just smash against the wall and just make up stories. Okay, you can smash anything, and you can smash and crash and carouse and just go all about your merry way and just keep thinking that you're right, and that's amazing. It truly is in the cloud, and they're telling you in the face you're just riding the waves in the cloud, right? Because you're suffocating, because you're taking big gulps of water, and big gulps of water because you have a quench that has never had. It can never be filled. It can never thirst. The thirst of never quenching. Okay, that's right. And the fire will never be lit. It is just forever smashed. Okay, what are you talking about? What is this?
Tax, but minimum tax. But I want to accumulate this so I have cash flow. Anything you want to say? Any questions on that?
No, I'm happy because I can see both sides. I can see them pull.
Right, you're smashed. You can see both sides, and that's fine. That's fair, right? Because you can see both sides of the coin, and to you that's virtuous, and that's amazing. But you know what? The reality is that people that live through that, seeing it both ways, are living smashed lives, because really they are the they're lukewarm. Okay, they're lukewarm, and they have just riding the wave. Just riding the wave. But what happens? You get stumbled and smashed. Okay, or you get a big road rash. Okay, just split in carnage, and you have open sores, and just it's nasty. Okay, and what happens then? What happens then? Okay, then you have a crisis, right, of existential nature. Okay, you don't understand, but still, you've been scrambled too much by then. Firstly, because of this other man standing supposedly in front of you, but he's probably not even there. It looks like it was badly taped, and who cares? But look, that obviously he said that he scrambled your brain, and then you came out of it, of the to the other side of the pool, and he just glorified you then. But so you have this virtuous sense in you, but no, it's all because it's based on trauma. It's trauma because you were obliterated from, yes, realizing that a truth perhaps of, listen, it's not what it is, but then you just gave up and just allowed somebody to smash you because your parents or something. I don't know what happened, but let's take a look.
Employee side and the entrepreneur side. And thankfully, because I work in this company, I'm not forced to work a regular 9 to 5 job. I'm able to actually work on my own projects, and it's incentivized that we actually do become entrepreneurs.
Our company encourages everybody to come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have a 401k, do we?
No.
We don't have a retirement plan for you, do you? That keeps you motivated, right?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
his
what
daughter
would you say
probably.
to your
What is he
friends
talking
or
about?
your
I don't know.
fellow millennials about why the rich don't work for money?
I would tell them that they really, truly need to educate themselves, because to work for money is completely ridiculous. While taxes are increasing and the inflation is increasing, it doesn't make any sense to be working from paycheck to paycheck. The rich don't work for money. The money works for them.
Or being afraid of being fired.
Okay, this guy is amazing.
Or losing your...
So I don't even know like the principles of or the actual methodology of how they actually do that, but I'm gonna guess that it's probably goes something like this: like just get a loan and invest in some asset, and then just build from there, and then just keep amassing assets and some commodities, right? Just trading, just smashing and dashing, and that just perpetuates pumps. But you're just festering. It's just feeding off the festering. And what is that? Because other people are working. So what are you promoting? Don't work? No, you don't promote don't work. You say the rich don't work a day of their lives, and they never have, of course, because the rich are it's an idea. Yet it's the American dream, and it's just polluted. And what are we living out? Yes, the total clash of the reality versus the lie. Okay, the reality being the smashing truth, and those who have totally just smashed again, and they have succumbed completely to the lie. And that is the turbulence that you see. And this might be the look of that turbulence. He knows. Look at him. The turbulence is what's going on behind here. So how can he not see it? That's all he sees. He sees the turbulence because it's the turbulence that is within him. Look.
Pension.
Mm-hmm.
Did you realize that's the biggest terror of most people? I might lose my pension too.
Yeah, I mean, it's really...
Oh, do you realize that that's what most people fear? Wow, I wonder why. It couldn't possibly be that it's because it's a reality, because it's smashed, diluted, idea in a system, a complete faith in a fraud. Somehow is shattering right in front of them. No, it couldn't possibly be that. And it could also not be possible that now they're trying to just make these people believe that, wow, we can just reform it. You can just save it, or just allocate the funds somewhere else. Smashed, just double smash and triple and quadruple and 5 and into the 5 because you love the 5, and it's what you worship. It's amazing because all these things are just rituals. Because in the end of the day, think of all the people that live in countries, and think of it, how many people of them are actually so-called rich, right? Who cares? He said about 15%, but who cares? The rest of them are just smashing, and the rich are smashing, and there's just smashing all. It's just a big mash, okay? And who cares? Because they don't give a damn other than about themselves, right? And so if they can get out there and make a little bit more extra cash, they will do it. And what does that mean? Well, apparently anything, because you will do anything for money, and it doesn't matter because you can be an entrepreneur and sell your body, and that's amazing. And you can also be an entrepreneur and create some wizardy technology and be called a god. Who cares? cares? But listen, you could also just use money to buy some land and give no F's. But that's not. Who cares? Nobody does that. And at the same time, you could just use money and give it all away. In the end, it's meaningless. It's meaningless because none of that is overcoming. That's just plain musical chairs, slopping, slashing. It's just you're just roast beef, just slammed across the face and just slashed and just totally obliterated and left on the counter for a couple months and then slashed and dashed and smashed and just stomped on. Okay, just savagely, it's just amazing. And then how how can these people just keep face throughout this tragedy? Oh, you know why? Because you have gurus and you have yoga. So thank goodness for yoga, because it's the most amazing thing that ever existed. And you know why? Because, you've been brainwashed to just believe that it's been going on forever and ever and ever, forever.
Really sad that it's one of the biggest fears of everybody on a daily basis, whether they're going to get fired or not. And just seeing that my dad previously and my mother were both scared of not being able to support our family, and now thankfully, because we followed your philosophy, we have all the freedom in the world.
And your mother's a real estate agent. She's an investor and real estate agent.
Yeah.
So they joined the membership. They're now members, and now you're reaping the rewards because you're following the doctrine. Wow, how amazing would that be? It is amazing. But now, what is the vessel? The vessel is still half full. It's not even filled at all. It's just trickling with life, just pouring out of it. And this guy's laughing. He's kind of wondering when he's going to feast on it and when he's going to get his cut. He's wondering, when is my cut coming in? That's all he cares about. He's like growling. He's waiting for that big piece of chunk of his cut for bringing you in. That's amazing. It's so amazing.
And she can help you.
Yeah, exactly. So both of them are my team, and the day tomorrow, if I do get fired, I have my properties to live off of. Yeah.
Wow. So you have you have so many properties that it doesn't matter. I'm just smashing and smashing because at the end of the day, I have 2 properties. Wow. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, you can lose that, at the turn of a dime. Okay. And that's what it's worth, a dime. And it's not even worth a dime. Okay. Nothing. Leases mean nothing, or, debts, all these propriety notes. What does that mean? Nothing. It means that you have a nice certificate saying that you're renting off the queen or some other entity that's some other, fictitious false authority, but you love it. So, and you subscribe to it and you signed, and it's an oath. And of course it's wonderful because it keeps you in line. It's amazing. It keeps you in the delusion of some fantasy, of some utopia. Really, guys, this is Atlantis, when people were just blasted bliss and tossed over an omelet salad. Okay, totally blasted, just so gone. Like this person will call somebody on the street an alcoholic or a drug addict, and they call them the pothead or whatever, the loser. But listen, he has no moral compass. Okay, there's no moral. He doesn't even know the word. What is it? It's so relative to him. It's not even real. It doesn't even matter because he is the creator of his reality. He has blown into existence. He's the supernova, guys. He is the creator and the dictator of it all, okay? Because he is his own master. And of course, the doctrine to be a successful rich person is to have that philosophy. And of course, people love it. People love it because people love the fame and the draw and the pull and the power and the lust and the attraction and the desire and all the crushing things, right? Amazing.
You do too good a job for us to fire you.
Exactly.
That's good.
No, I work hard here.
Are you afraid of if you make a mistake in this company, are you fired?
No, mistakes are actually encouraged.
Mistakes are encouraged. Exactly. Smashing is encouraged. Amazing.
Work system where we were punished for it, and then coming to this one where they're actually incentivized because we learn from them. It's amazing.
Oh, she said it. She had to say it. She couldn't wait because she had to include it that it's actually a happy learning experience. No, it's trauma. You're being traumatized. You're just being lobotomized, and you think it's happy time. It's just Candyland. You go in there, but it's false. It's hollow, and it's just rotting. It's putrid, and it's just gutting. It's gutting you alive. It's gutting you. It's eviscerating you from the inside, but you don't even know it because it's the false promise. Because every time you go back, it's just a wishful thought. Because every time you go in there, you're not there. You're just there every time. It's just a bliss. It's a bliss. You're just bombed. You're just totally it's just twisted. You're just twisted into twist land, okay? And that's why they give you twist candy and all this nonsense, okay? It's just a spiral that just blasts into your head, right? The unicorn, you just get blasted in, drilled right through the crushing skull, right there, okay? That's where you got drilled.
Have to admit you made a mistake.
Yeah,
You cover up the
exactly.
mistake. You're fired.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So Sarah, my supervisor, whenever, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I can't believe I messed up. She's like, no, it's okay. We learn from our mistakes,
Yes.
and that's
That's our culture here.
yeah, it's awesome.
That's right. He tells you that's our culture here. Where? Here in the studio? No, you mean here where? Where? Where are you talking about? No, I have a suspicion that you mean on Earth, right? This is our culture here. Amazing. You learn from your mistakes. That's being your own God. Amazing that you can dictate if you have or have not learned, or to you respect yourself. You think you can respect yourself. It's amazing. It's so amazing because there's no self-respect. There's only abandoning the self. The idea of some sort of self-awareness. You are the awareness. Okay, what are you? Is this some sort of like ABC doctrine? Anything but Christ? What are you talking about? Okay, what are you talking about? Just some, wizardry, sorcery. Just this guy can draw really awesome boxes and draw lines and squiggles, but it's the serpent and it's talking to you.
Awesome.
So thank you. So the rich don't work for what?
Money.
See,
And
he
for
had to
those at
remind you.
home, find a friend and discuss.
He had to remind you. The rich don't work for what? They don't work for money. What? I don't know. I don't even know what that means, okay? And this is crazy, but listen. It's all a word smash. It's all a word smash because in the end, this guy is going home, getting paid and stashing and cashing. Okay? Stashing and cashing, and then he just goes out to smash and dash, okay? And he dines and dashes too, probably. He doesn't even care. He's just feasting. Right? So anyone who has this mindset, what are they doing? Right? Because it's not about doing that. What is that? What is that? What do you call that? Do you call that your life? Because if you do, that's almost just sad. That's just sad. It's not even a tragedy anymore. It's just sad because it's almost like looking at the dog in the puppy mill window. But it's just not even sad anymore because you know it's gonna die probably, and you're just numb to it. You're just numb to it. So it's just a double cross, like slash. It's a double guillotine. You don't even know it because yes, it doesn't matter how many guillotines, how many guns fire at you. In the end, you're just blasted. You know how many blasting. You don't. Of course, you know about blasting. This is a crevice, okay? What is going on, okay? Because somebody has to know, but nobody knows because apparently this guy's the only one that knows. This one right here. And of course, his associates and the people associated with him, because that's the people that know what's going on, right? Because they're the ones that are rich and they're the ones that never, work a dime. Exactly. They never work a dime. They never even make the dime themselves. It's always just there somehow. And why? Does that just tell you that that's the dynamic of that spell? That there will always be the poor, and that the poor supposedly will be the ones that will make the dime, that then they will use to eat themselves to death, and these guys just take whenever they want. And you can be a part of the poor and rise above, but you don't rise. You smash and smash and smash, and that's how you rise, supposedly in your bashed brain. That you rise, but no, you just go into the abyss, okay? And then you help more. It's almost like you open the trade because they elevate you so that you can bring a portal of a currency, which is people, to them more, and you trade people that way, and you just smash and smash and smash, and you rewarded for it, and it's rewarding. It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding to make people, have jobs, because jobs are just the execution mill. It's the poppy mill, because the more jobs you create, it's the more executions you have to have, right? And you love it. And because it's a market of everything, and it's a market of just feeding off the blood, and that's why you just sacrifice all the children and feed off the river of blood that just gushes every day, gushes. And that's why he has to wear blue, because he has to kind of deceive that the red isn't just everywhere, just about to consume and just burn everything, just consume it all, he still wants you to just be smart. He's like, smarten up. okay, let's end it there.